This is Elio Piedra inviting you to start your day with a fun, dynamic, educated, and different way. From Monday to Friday, yes, inspiring, learning, sharing stories, and advertising all businesses around the world. Sit tight, grab your coffee, and relax. We want to welcome you to Morning Coffee, Elio. Get up, baby, this morning. This is Elio Piedra. Another morning, another coffee, because this is Morning Coffee with Elio. You know, we're here every week from Monday to Friday, inspired, sharing stories, you know, and just lifting your spirit off. Do you know that the first 30 minutes of your day, they are going to dictate your whole day, the spirit of your whole day. So let's bring that energy right back up. A new day means a new opportunity, a new season, a new door, okay? To a new window to look out, all right? And be grateful for. I am very excited today. You know, every single day we have amazing guests, you know. But today is special in many ways. You know, we have my friend Franz is coming to share his amazing story with all of you guys, and we are very grateful because you are tuning in every single day, watching, supporting Morning Coffee with Elio. And Franz is here explaining, you know, his successful journey from the Navy SEAL, okay, to business owner and amazing entrepreneur. Let's welcome Franz to Morning Coffee with Elio. Yes.
Hey, how are you, sir?
I am fantastic. Thank you for making time for us. I am super excited, you know, for having you here. You
Absolutely.
know, yeah. So actually, let me tell you something, Franz. How you pronounce your name that X1 guy is not going to mess it up? Your last name, I mean.
Yeah, well, no, it's a good question, and I'm so proud of my daughter. Just the other day, said her whole name for the first time.
Really?
Dixie Grace, Federschmidt. But you know, she made it all the way through. It basically covers the entire alphabet. So my name, Franz Eric Federschmidt the third. You know, family name, obviously German lineage. And something interesting about my name is my family calls me Eric by my middle name because there was a mix-up with my dad. You know, growing up, there were two Franzes. It would be too confusing. But then when I got to my operational Navy unit, they give you call signs, and everyone, you know, comes up with a nickname. And so everyone liked Franz better, and so you don't really say no I don't like my nickname. You just go with it. So exactly. Ever since I've been Franz.
Yeah, actually I'm glad that I asked you first and I didn't say it because I will say it wrong. But yeah, Franz is great. So Franz, ladies and gentlemen, it is the owner at Signarama-Custom Signs here in Gator Nation. Go Gators! Because you know. Signarama, you guys do so many different things related to signs of types. But before we jump into that, I want to go to the very beginning of your career as a Navy Navy SEAL, part of the military in general. And so, talk to me a little bit about that, the very beginning of your career.
So, like we were saying before the show, let me just correct the record a little bit. I'm not a Navy SEAL, but I am a naval aviator. So my wife and I are actually both naval aviators, and sometimes, you know, that surprises people. Oh, women can be, you know, in the, you know, fly the planes and be aircrew. Yes. And so we met on or in a squadron of P3s, which is a certain type of aircraft that hunts submarines, if you can imagine that. You have planes flying over the ocean that drop sensors into the water that listen for the submarines, and then that transmits the information back up to the plane, and then it's basically a math problem to figure out, you know, where the adversary submarine is, and then you just track it and monitor. And then, of course, in times of conflict, you know, there would be torpedoes involved. But so anyway, that's the aircraft that we were on. And we were stationed in Hawaii and lived an incredible 6 years out in Hawaii. Just beautiful place, got married out there.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing time. Yeah.
Oh, so, and actually we were talking about, oh, people are saying good morning to us. So let's say really quick, Ariana Jones, good morning.
Hey, how's it?
And Linda, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you for supporting. I love my people, man. My followers, my friends, they are my family. So I can feel the energy. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. So we were talking about how you met your wife.
Yes.
You know, and that was amazing. You know.
Yeah.
So she also was part of
the Navy.
The
Yep,
Navy.
Naval Aviator. Yeah. So the amazing thing is that with an increased number of women joining the workforce and taking increased leadership roles, whether it's a military or civilian, we're finding a lot of people, meeting their loved ones, on the job, maybe in the same career field. And so it's the same thing sometimes with the military. And so we have that strong bond of, service to our country, similar values, and that kind of thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Good morning, morning coffee. Thank you, Joseph, so much for saying hello. So, so now talk to me about how long you spent and how long was your whole career as a Navy aviator?
That's a very good question as well, sir. Because I'm actually still in the Navy. Because just like you're Elio, the entertainer, the podcaster, the father, the husband. We have all these different jobs. When I left active duty, I'm still in the Navy Reserve, and my wife is as well. So, just to go back to the beginning of my career. You go to college, you get a commission as if you have a degree, and you can be a commissioned officer in the Navy or Army or, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force. And then you go through an assignment process to determine, are you, like you said, going to be a Navy SEAL, not a Navy SEAL, but a Naval Aviator? Are you going to serve on a ship? Are you going to be an intelligence officer? Now we have cyber warriors. We have programs, people being trained to be cyber warriors. I mean, if you can imagine that, who will be on the front lines of the cyber realm, protecting the nation. So you do the service selection, and then when you get your training, it further refines, am I going, to this type of aircraft? Am I going to be a jet pilot, a helicopter pilot? What kind of ship am I going to? Is it going to be an aircraft carrier, a cruiser? Am I going to be a submariner? And then once you get that training, then you can go to your duty station. So it could be Japan, you could be in, Maryland, Florida, obviously, Texas, almost all over the world, because we have a wide reach in our military, and so my first duty station was Hawaii, which was a fantastic first place. Now I will say that when I went to Hawaii to check into my squadron, my command, my squadron, they were on deployment in Iraq. So, I go basically check in with, there was only maybe 5 people there, that stay behind out of, over 100. And, so you check in, and then they say, all right, here's your ticket to Iraq. So it's like, okay, get on the plane. Wow. And then, you land in Iraq, where, there's war. And the job of our plane, in Iraq, because there's no submarines to monitor, we do what's called intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. So say, if there's a mission, and you interviewed a gentleman in the Army the other day, right? So he's on a mission, he's on the ground, they need support from the air. And so you have the cameras and the radars and all these different sensors that allow you to support the person on the very front line. And that was my very first introduction to, I guess you could say, conflict in the Navy. But then after 3 years in that assignment, you go on to other assignments. And so I went on to other assignments in Hawaii, and then also went to Norfolk, was a member of an aircraft carrier ship's crew, which was fantastic. And then now my duty station is Jacksonville. So on the weekend, like you work Monday through Friday, and then Saturday comes and you wake up really early, put little Dixie in the car, and then we drive up to Jacksonville.
Wow.
And my wife goes to work and I go to work. Yeah.
So that's amazing what you're saying. And by the way, we have some followers, friends here that they are commenting while you are talking. I want to share this with you really quick on the screen. So Linda is saying, both of my older brothers, they moved to Hawaii after a friend was stationed there in the Marines. And then my mother followed them almost 20 years ago, all on Ohio. For some reason, we can see the whole, it's a long comment.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but Linda, thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you, Linda.
That's fantastic. But so you see how people relate to your story and everything that we've been through, you've been through. And Franz, what I've been saying this to you so many times, I know, that you are a very special, person to talk to, because when we are talking, you are paying so much attention to the business side of everything and how you develop yourself as a leader, and I really admire you because of that. I remember our last conversation about leadership and being just an entrepreneur or just developing a business, growing a brand. You were very passionate about changing the standards, from the very beginning of your business. You told me that when you first bought your business, that by the way is Signarama, you wanted to encourage everybody to join you on these standards, values to success. So talk to me a little bit about that.
That's a very good question. So thank you for asking. The word leadership is a huge word.
Yes.
I think the word almost needs like another syllable, because it's such a big topic.
Yes.
Huge libraries full of books, full of this idea of leadership and all these things. And what I love, and then I also grin at a little bit, is how you'll have many times a small business owner. We have a great many in Gainesville who are fantastic small business owners. Shout out to our Chamber of Commerce. So fantastic.
Great against the Chamber of Commerce. We love you. We love you guys.
Such a good organization to be a part of. And you hear the small business owners, they're talking about their journey, through small business and their trials and successes and all these things. And a lot of times it's a story of recognition of what it means to be a leader. A lot of times it's kind of a coming of leadership story, like, hey, how do I get people to follow my vision and understand my vision? And so from there you can branch off in so many topics like strategic communication, values, just ideals, principles, how to conduct yourself. And so it's wonderful that small business owners, if they want to be any level of success, have to understand that, because if you can't first lead yourself, right, you won't be able to lead another person or another organization. So it takes the discipline, it takes you embodying certain, traits and values, because otherwise they'll hear the words sometimes from your mouth, but they won't, they won't believe you. So.
Oh my God, I am very happy that you just said what you just said about if you don't lead yourself. So now watch the topic of the day. One of the topic of the day, but the one that we decide here is gonna be this one. Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. Let me repeat it again. Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. And I love that because you just mentioned it. So I was waiting for the perfect. And I knew that this goes with you so perfect because you are once again, and you're such a good leader, and I know this is a fact. I know you. I had the opportunity to know you, as a person, as a friend. We had, we still do actually have like an amazing mastermind group, and we do so many different events, the Chamber of Commerce, and I see you leading your own pathway with your team and making them grow so much. I've been following your career all over.
Yeah, well, I think we might have met right when I started, in the small business.
Exactly,
so that's part of our story.
Yes.
But and just to wrap up on this topic of leadership, because again, it's an explosive topic, and to relate it back to the military. The military, you can sometimes say, oh, they're too bureaucratic, or, this or that or the other. You can point at a lot of problems sometimes. But one thing I think people will agree on is that our military, or almost most military service, is the number one thing is leadership. Is that they will teach you and focus you, and if you can't understand how to be a leader, you will at least understand how to be, in many ways, I wouldn't say a follower necessarily, but you will respect the leaders that you see. It's just absolutely part of the fabric of the United States military in particular. And it shows, because public opinion of the United States military, it's the number one, most trusted institution, in our country, and so we have to, protect that, and it's really up to the organization, right, to always keep those standards and live up to those standards. And so that's a wonderful thing about past military people. A lot of times when they join the civilian workforce, they're bringing that experience in leadership, and they're saying, I might not have this technical skill set, but I understand the people. I understand, all these various aspects of strategic communication, values, principles, processes that they can then bring to the organization.
And the discipline.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, because the discipline of being, that is different. You can be disciplined in many, many ways and move forward towards success, like being disciplined, being patient. Being patient, all right, is a discipline. It takes discipline to be patient. It takes discipline to follow up with specific topics that you can relate on for your business, with clients, with other businesses, with other organizations that you may collaborate in the future. So everything takes discipline. Mm-hmm. So, and the military, you learn a lot about discipline. I know as a fact, because I don't know if you know this, but I joined the Army for a year, to me, it was life changing. It was huge, mm-hmm. And he actually taught me how to value many things, little things that I used to say, it's okay, it's not really important. Mm-hmm. So I think that's very important what you just mentioned, right there. So right now we're gonna jump into Signarama once again, and we wanna share with our friends here, what is Signarama about? We already know the values and the standards and the greatness, of you guys. I said the greatness because you guys help so many people in this community, all right? So you guys are doing such a wonderful job, supporting different events, supporting organizations, helping businesses to grow. Yes. That's where you can find true business, when you are helping others to grow. So let's actually jump to Signarama, and meanwhile I'm gonna leave you guys with the telephone number, the name, and the address, so you can stop by, say hello to the amazing team and everything. So talk to me about that.
No, and really everyone is welcome to our new showroom, is what I call it, because if anyone used to be familiar with our location next to Miapa, maybe just a year or two ago, it was There was no showroom. There were hardly any signs. There just wasn't that opportunity to see what is a visual product, and so you need to see, a little bit of example of, hey, this is the product. It's a custom product, many times one of one, and then get good customer service, like we have our amazing sales representative Genesis, who will happily answer your phone calls and that kind of thing. But so if you come in now to our new location across from the Gainesville Police Department, there's this beautiful showroom that has all the different products on the wall and all the different things that you can see, because again, signage is a visual industry, and so that's just very important to actually be able to see some of that. But just getting back to why Signarama? Why would, okay, so you were in this military, it sounds pretty good, right? Why would you transition? Why signage? So my wife, being the amazing person she is, she was always helping out at the vet clinics in Hawaii, and we were adopting the dogs and different cats, and so we have these animals in our life. And she starts working at the vet clinics in her off time, to see, like, just to learn more about that pursuit and that career. And so she decides, eventually, I think in the long term, this is something that calls to me. This is something that I think I can really do for the rest of my life. I want to pursue veterinary medicine. So, you have those serious conversations, right, with your spouse and partner, because it's like your life is going on one trajectory, but then it's, okay, if we're going to change course, we need to have a plan. So then we come up with a plan and execute. She applied to all the schools. She took the tests, she studied for the test and all these things, and got the hundreds of hours required in volunteer work for the schools, the veterinary colleges, to look at her application. So she does all that, and she gets in some very prestigious veterinary schools. But then we sit down one day it was a coffee shop, and we say, hey, where are we going to move? Where are we going to go to? And we look up the temperature in one of the schools on our phone, and it says 30 degrees.
Oh my God.
And it's snowing, and it's bad. And then we look up the temperature in Gainesville, Florida, and it says 70 degrees.
You love it.
And so we just look at each other and say, all right, okay, decision made. And also we have family. I'm from Jacksonville and this kind of thing. But so we basically, because she has that passion and that direction in her career, we come to Gainesville for her to pursue veterinary medicine. And then I was stationed on the aircraft carrier. And we might have a picture, I don't know, of the aircraft carrier. There it is, right there. So this picture is actually, you'll see me in my flight suit. If you're an aviator, even a member of ship's company, and there I am in front of the one of the planes. But that picture right there is the last day. I was a member of the aircraft carrier ship's company. And that's called the bridge right there.
Wow.
And so the captain's chair is right behind me. And so that's where the captain of the ship, sits, and he can see all of the aircraft, doing, their thing, and then also can direct the ship, the direction, which way to go in order to launch the jets and to retrieve the jets. And so I took this picture because I realized this was my last day in this incredible job. And just basically, I walked out to my vehicle in the parking lot, and I got in my car, and I drove overnight to Gainesville.
Wow.
And I, didn't have a job, basically. And my wife is now in vet school. I said, I can either start looking for a job, or I can set my own course. and I can try to use this, leadership and these things I learned in the military to do something on my own, right? American dream. And so the next morning, even though I got in at like 3 a.m., I wake up early and I get on the phone and I call up a business broker and I say, what kind of businesses are available in Gainesville, Florida? And that is basically how it all started, because then you go through the process of looking at the businesses and thinking what fits with my lifestyle, what's creative, right? Signage, a lot of room for creativity.
Yes.
And then after a course of weeks and months, I transitioned into the role of small business owner of Signarama Gainesville. And so
awesome.
That's how we got there.
That is fantastic. And I love when you said that I had to take a path, and I wanted to lead myself to this because it's related to the topic of the day. When we decide that we want to do something because it's our calling, right? This is my call. This is what I want to do, and I want to be all in. And you talk about execution. You plan, okay? It's been said, and I already mentioned this, but it's been said that you don't plan to fail. You fail to plan. So you guys plan, you got execute, and then here you are, all right?
Yes.
The American dream, basically, living in your dream, in your gift. You are gifted at being a good leader. And by the way, when I say leader, I mean, for example, in our homes, anybody that you are an example of life, in life, like of living in purpose, with the meaning,
Yes.
is a leader. You don't need to be like a president. You don't need to be of any type, of any organization. So that's kind of like also the concept. And what do you think about that?
I can't agree with you more, and that's why I love our conversations many times. Is because what you hit on was, there are roles.
Yes, roles.
There are functions in organizations that are created.
Yes.
But someone created that. It wasn't intrinsic to the world that this role needs to be there. It was in someone's mind. The function was created. But aside from that, just because you're in a role or a position, right? That doesn't mean that person's a leader. On the other hand, people who are leaders, they will kind of rise, in any organization or any, whether it's a tribe or a group, whatever. That person with that leadership is going to naturally rise, and people are going to look at them for secretly, whether they're in that named role or not, for what should we do here? And that could be, again, in your family. That could be,
yes.
Hey, what do you think? I respect your view. Or it could be in your organization, or it could be, in your church, because they know how you live your life. And so I think you really hit on something there.
Thank you very much. Well, I am very passionate about how you can build your team up, everybody. So when we first met, the very first time we met, we started talking about this entrepreneurial journey and the values and the standard that you need to succeed in anything in life. And I remember you mentioned that you wanted your team to share. You want to share some ideas, some thoughts about how you can work on yourself, every single individual on your team. Because if you have people that they are great people, okay, it's been said that you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Mm-hmm. If you have great people in your organization, people that they are loyal, that they are hard workers, but they believe in you as a leader, and also they believe in the organization, that's success right there. There is no way, because failure is not an option when you have people like with this quality. And you were so focused on this that I was like amazed, because we were talking about that so much, and you were talking about that constantly. I was like, this is great, this is very, very important. And I think if every single organization, they were laser focused. All right, like you, when we were talking, you were laser focused on this. I want my team to be this way. Just to not in a way that I don't know on my way, but just to be better, to grow not only as organization but as human beings, as persons, as because sometimes we talk about entrepreneurship so much here in the show. But let me tell you, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody, and I don't want people to get the perception that this show is about entrepreneur or the life in general is about entrepreneur. No. It's just about your values, your standards, that they are gonna actually take you to the next level. So
when you mentioned you have to have or you want to have a principled organization with values and standards. I think people might think to themselves, oh, well, he's asking Franz because Franz really has it figured out. And so I want to take a step back and make sure that people know is like in any leadership, entrepreneurial, or even down to leading yourself as a person, there's going to be that struggle. Yes. And it's constant because there's never really that if you sit on the mountaintop and have this mountaintop experience and you look out over your vast, perfectly established empire of all these people believe in my values and my organization's running and I'm making all this money. If anyone was to experience that, which I don't even know is possible, that would last about 2 seconds before someone says, hey, we have some problem. We have something over here you have to deal with. Because again, the life of a leader, and this isn't me saying, this is General Jim Mattis just released a book recently called Call Sign Chaos. I'd highly recommend it to anyone interested in leadership. It's not just about military, it's about leadership in general. He said, if you want to avoid problems, and I'm paraphrasing here, if you want to avoid problems, then don't be a leadership. Don't be a leader.
To be a leader, yeah.
Because that's what it's at a core is what it's about, is that solving and by solving problems, you're solving human problems, right? The most difficult of all the problems. You can have technical problems and this and that and something's not working, but the human problems are what are the most difficult of the problems, and that's where we use this term leadership, and it sounds very impressive, and you get a shiny book, and you read it, and you think I'm a leader, or, you get some qualification. But where the rubber meets the road is when you're having a conversation with another human who has problems. Yes. And so that is something that is not always very... It's not something that someone's going to announce in the newspaper is, oh, this person's solving the problems. Yes. Maybe they won't even thank you. Maybe they don't even understand. Maybe but that's what it's about. And so for me to say like, oh, in the past 2 years, getting into entrepreneurship has been a great success. I was able to leverage all of my things that I learned in the military and just translate them perfectly over to the civilian workforce. Oh, it's been just one difficulty after difficulty after difficulty. But that is what if you want to be a leader, that is what you sign up for. Yeah. That is what you have to know when you get up in the morning and still have a positive attitude, because that's what you wanted. But it's rewarding at the same time, right? I mean,
and yes, I mean, 100%. And actually, we want problems in our life. We want problems in our life because problem is the number one opportunity for you to learn, and it's the number one opportunity for growth in general out there. No matter what is your position, no matter what is, it doesn't matter if you're the business owner or not. If you're working for, you want problems happening all the time. And watch this. Problems, I learned this by Ed Milet, one of my heroes, amazing. So you don't know Ed Milet, you must know him by right now. Just after Morning Coffee with Elio, every morning you gotta come here because this is your morning coffee. Just check it out. Ed Milet, he said that, when you have problems, problems, it's like a sign of that you are growing, of progress. Because if you don't have problems, that means that you are static. You're just stuck. There is nothing happening in your life. There is no seeking. There is no doors opening for you. There is, it's like, for example, the very beginning of this show. For example, we were looking for the perfect camera, or the perfect audio, everything, and problems come, struggles, and even whatever happened, even the internet, something. But the key to it is don't stop. Just don't stop. It doesn't matter who is saying what, it just don't stop. And by saying that, because we're actually tagging the next segment of the show, the quote, which is the quote of the day. So you watch this. I want to share with you this amazing thing. So your existence is evidence that this generation needs something that your life contains. Miles Monroe, an amazing preacher out of Bahamas, and that gentleman was amazing. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, but rest in peace, Dr. Miles Monroe. But that's a huge legacy right there. So I truly believe that we are on planet Earth with a purpose, and once you find that purpose, you become a no matter what person. You become unstoppable. And when you actually tag that to your reasons in life, it's just, I don't know, it is endless, the gratitude.
I think one phrase that I found recently is to find your why. You have to find your why. And that's perfect. Yeah, that we would have this picture is, first of all, it was an amazing picture of my baby girl.
Yes, yes,
and
beautiful.
Her amazing mother, but also it's a product I made at my
really?
business.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just so it's an expression in many ways of just of creativity,
Yes.
and you've God's creativity right there, my wife's creativity, and then. The business creativity. That's actually a picture, but it's printed on wood, because we have this amazing technology now. Yeah, that you can print on glass and acrylic and wood and metal and all these different surfaces.
Wow.
And sometimes people don't even know. It's like, hey, I want my picture, my family picture. And where do I go? Because now they don't have Olin Mills. I don't know. I haven't seen an Olin Mills in a long time. And you just send the picture, from the phone to Genesis, and then we, print it, and you have like a nice family photo. And it doesn't have to just be on your phone. And so that's a neat example of creativity there.
I love it. I love it. And by the way, I'm gonna actually put the quote once again on screen. So you can enjoy it really quick for a few seconds. Your existence is evidence that that this generation needs something that your life contains. Because I truly believe that you can do more, that you can endure almost anyhow. Whatever you have in your mind, in your heart, your passion, your gifts, just align that with yourself, with who you are. Because remember, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. So by saying that, I am gonna jump really quick into this game that is called What Would You Change?
So, I didn't know there was the game.
Hey, surprise! Hello, we always have something for you. And by saying that, so what would you change? Just think about this. Would you change economic situation, emotional situation, political situation, on the mindset in the world for everybody on planet Earth? And
for everyone.
For everyone.
Oh,
so,
not just me. Okay.
And while you think about that, I'm gonna take this second to let you know that if you make a comment right now, telling us what would you change, yes. We have this book that this is our new raffle today. It's a courtesy of Dance Alive National Ballet. It's called Dining and Dancing, baby, with Dance Alive National Ballet. Let me show you right here the book. This is the first person to make a comment below, you're gonna get Linda, Joseph, Ariana, everybody that is tuning in today. So right here we have main dishes. We have so much stuff. Very high-end, actually recipes. This is crazy. Very interesting book. Very fun. A lot of fun. Dining and dancing. Okay, so you can look at it, dining and dancing, and make a comment below. Let's go back to Franz. Let's see what he got. So what is your answer? What would you change? Economic situation, emotional situation, political situation, or mindset?
I think this is a wonderful question. Fortunately, I don't have to circle one. I'm getting interviewed, so I can explain, and that's nice.
Yeah.
I would have to say the mindset. But obviously I get to say why I choose that.
Yes.
Because... let's take an economic situation for first. We're reading, my wife and I, this book right now. It's an incredible book for anyone who is listening. It's very, actually, it's almost a classic now in financial literacy. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And it's just a very important book because even if you aren't an entrepreneur, even if you don't have a lot of your economic resources aren't what you'd like them to be, it's a good book to put your mindset and to really change your understanding of what money is, what value is, and then how you're integrating that into your personal life. And one of the important things that the author points out is that short-term games, if everyone was to, say, have a windfall of this, wonderful, say their bank account increased tomorrow. He points out that unless your mindset doesn't change about how you understand money, you will still have your same problems in not too far distant future because it's all about how you understand the finances, right? Okay, so that's why I don't say economic situations, because I would want everyone to really understand first and foremost why the economic situation they may be in. Emotional situation, I would love to help people with their emotional situation. Obviously today, that's a big topic with mental health. I think that's tied to emotions. But the thing is like you said, is problems. The problems that you undergo, that forms you. That is what makes you, is those emotions. And the other night, my wife and I watched the movie about Mr. Rogers, and Tom Hanks was the actor. And it's so wonderful to see this person who was so focused on making sure that people understood their emotions and had words from as young an age as possible to explain themselves. Very important, but only you need the tools, right, to change your emotional situation. But then it's up to you. Many times, political situation. That's another. It's similar to the emotional situation in that you have different political situations, but then you come out of a certain political situation, and maybe you needed that difficulty in your culture, or in your country, or in your local community, and you will come out on the other side in a stronger situation, right? So that's why I would say, what would I change is the mindset, is for everyone to understand and have the knowledge and the words, right? Like Mr. Rogers, in the movie, his mission, in many ways, was to give people the tools to explain themselves emotionally, and these kind of tools, having the right words, and that can be reading books, it can be conversation like we're doing, it could be having coffee like we're doing, listening to the podcast. And then you're equipping yourself to change your economic, emotional, and then political situation. And so the mindset is what I would have to say.
One of the most powerful and wonderful answers on the show.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Man, that's awesome, brother. I really hope that you guys are watching the show and are liking the show. I mean, in sharing the show and getting so much value. I am learning so much with you. I always said that you should be surround yourself with OQP, only quality people, like Franz, people that they want more, people that are hungry, man. There is no such a thing as a secret to success. You just need to be hungry and laser focused on your purpose. And you know, mindset is is what I would change as well, because mindset, in few words, affects all of it, every single. Oh my goodness, I love it, man. That's fantastic. I thank you for that that answer. That was awesome. And you know, Linda keeps saying hello here. Linda, thank you for all of your support. She's telling, oh my gosh, I currently work at UF Veterinary College of Medicine, proctoring exams and resection desk on Fridays. This is a great program. So I think she's saying hello because you mentioned that you're also your wife. You know.
Right. Yeah. And so
that's cool.
Yeah, my wife.
That's awesome.
You know, always working hard, studying, and doing all those things that are necessary to get her where she wants to go in her career.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's say hello to your wife and to your beautiful baby girl.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Sarah and Dixie.
So right now we're gonna take a quick break to go to and meet our platinum sponsors, and later we're coming back after the break to learn more about our sponsors. I want to share that with friends, and we'll keep sharing more stories. And you know, stay tuned, stay inspired, and live full. We're coming back in a minute. This is Morning Coffee with Elio. And yes, just like that, we are back, baby. This is Morning Coffee with Elio. And yes, I would like to share my sponsor with you guys. Yes, right there we have Motor Group. They are sponsoring actually the game. What would you change game? We have C-Bar Range, beautiful wedding venue for corporate events, for any private event. They are fantastic. Gainesville Country Club. France, if you are into golf, I'm telling you, this is the place to be. Gainesville Country Club.
Good food too.
Good food, yes. Ravel Realty Group. If you're looking to buy, sell your house, they are the absolutely best. And Team Cabrera is your call, the best mortgage company that I know. I personally know. Team Cabrera from Union Home Mortgage. Mira Palatin Cafe, yes. Official coffee of the show. You know, and we also have Tommy's Auto Works. From, if you have any minor to major problem, France, I am telling you, actually they are very close to your business, right there in Main Street in 23rd Avenue. Tommy's Auto Works, I love them. Kids, Dog Pediatrics, they treat my baby, my world, my treasure, my baby Bella. They are amazing. PT Solution, General, Residential, and Commercial Maintenance. PT Solution, yes. Bene Auto, that's the top dealer of top used car dealers in North Central Florida. We're very happy to have them. The Best Restoration, Master of Disaster. Yes, they are coming up this Monday. George Villalobos, one of the funniest guys that I know. Beautiful Gardens of Florida. They are going to get your garden beautiful. Yes. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. And Podcast Central, it is the official partner and co-producer of company of Morning Coffee with Elio. So we have Arnold Insurance for all Floridians, home insurance, auto insurance. They do it all and they are fantastic. Meldon Law, you matter most. If you have any accident right now, or please don't have it, but call Pound Hurt and they are gonna help you. They are the best. the Charcoal Grill Latin Cuisine right there in Tower Road and Home Depot, and the Creek Restaurant and Event Center right there at Turkey Creek. Beautiful golf course view, and CC Accounting. They just came yesterday. We were talking about what you shouldn't do in this tax season. And we have Gonzalo Law, U.S. and International Corporate Law. Gonzalo Law, thank you very much for all of your support, your trust. And actually, Gonzalo Law is coming up on Tuesday because we have a lot to talk about royalties, how you can protect yourself, growing a business, and how you can use your agreements and contracts to make profit in your business. That's a very, very, very hot topic to talk about. So I'm telling you, you better stay tuned because what is coming, it is huge. And we are coming. We're back. Welcome back to Morning Coffee with Elio. After knowing and meeting our sponsors, we love our sponsors. We are very grateful. We are in a state of gratitude with all of them because the tremendous amount of growth in just a very short period of time that we have is because of them. I wouldn't say it's because, Elio, everybody, because you and you. No. It may appear as a solo act, but it takes teamwork. Okay, it takes a family. I see my sponsors as my family. I highly recommend every single one of them. Number one, because I work with every single one of them. I know they work, and they are great. And number two, because it takes like a whole team to carry, the purpose. And our purpose with this show is basically sharing stories, inspiring you to believe in your dreams, to believe in your purpose, in your goal, and to live full. When I mean live full, I mean live full. All right, live full, give it all. Let me ask you this question, Franz, because almost every guest got this question from me. And do you know the difference between being involved in a dream and commitment? Being involved in a dream or commitment?
Being involved in a dream.
With the dream or being committed to the dream.
Or being committed. Just to clarify, so being committed to your dream, or
being just involved.
Involved in someone else's dream, or
in your own dream.
In your own. Just in general, like we were saying, the discipline really, right, and the plan is the most important part. Because like you said, even with the show, you have self-doubt sometimes. Maybe you see many reasons why, this and that, it's not going to work out. Anyone who ever accomplishes anything great, it's only in the face of a million reasons why you can't do that.
Yes.
Why can't you have, a separate country from Britain, and people, they list it out. The Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
These are the reasons. And, you could never pull it off.
Yes, I know.
With the American Revolution, or you'll never experience political change. Or you'll never overcome your sickness or your, disability or this or that or the other. And so you got to have the discipline and the commitment. Yeah.
I love it. I love the question. That was unbelievable. But my question is a little more simple. So for me, the difference between being involved in a dream and being committed, is that next time you have, bacon and eggs, look at it. The chicken was involved. The pig was committed. He had to give it all up. Yeah, you got my point. Yeah, he was committed, man. He was all in, all up. It was everything or nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was trying actually to make a joke out of that, and I love that, by the way. That's a Les Brown joke that I love so much, because it made sense, So the advice, we're gonna jump into the advice of the day. Really quick, the advice of the day. So, Franz, let me ask you, what would you say to this new generation? It doesn't matter if they are going to the Navy or the Army or not. Just the new generation. About values, regarding values, standards, how to make it in life, how to fight for what you really want. So, what would be your advice to our friends here in the show today?
That is it's kind of like the leadership question. It's a huge question. It's a wonderful question that maybe people should write down. Repeat that question just in case anyone wants to write it down, because it's such a good question to even think about every day.
So this is the advice of the day segment, and by the way, we're gonna take this segment to stream it and use it, because I know that it's gonna be a great answer from you. So what would you advise this new generation, okay, regarding values, standards, and how to succeed in life?
So, and why I thought it was so good that maybe people should write it down to think about it is start with what separates younger generations from older generations, and think of that. What's this? It's not just age. Why are some older generations saying, oh, these people, they don't, certain things. They don't do X. They don't think this way. They don't have this X, certain value or principle. But then also think about what might the new generations, and not just because they're new, but that is special to them, have to bring to the table. And then try to really think, suss out what are the differences generationally, that all are forming our society. What is everyone bringing to the table? But I think why it's another reason why it's such a good question is because with the explosion of information today, like we have the phones and all, it's the information age, is that with all the information coming at us, sometimes it's hard to decide, well, what information am I supposed to know? What things am I supposed to think? I thought one thing and now I'm thinking another, and there always seems to be arguments on all these different sides. And so people say, well, this is as good as that. I'm not going to decide, or those kind of thoughts. And so my challenge would be for people in the younger generations is to not be held back by indecision, right? Because we're both younger. I think I'm technically millennial, and to not say, well, I'm just not going to decide, or I'm not going to think. You have to think through the things that have made humans for millennia. You have to think through that for yourself. You have to decide many times, and it's a difficult decision. What do I think? And not just because I heard it I read it in a book, or I saw it on a tweet, or this or that or the other. You have to determine really what is going to separate you, and sometimes it's a difficult decision. Sometimes it's hard to explain, and that's why it's so important to be reading, to be talking, to be having these hard, important conversations many times with your friends and families, and even people who have different ideas, right? Because then you'll grow, and then you'll be able to really be that strong leader. You'll be able to lead yourself. You'll be able to explain yourself. You'll be able to understand your emotions, your mindset, and from there, that will flow outwards to everyone else. And so the difference, I think, is that the younger generations, they can't hold back on engagement with the difficult decisions.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I really hope that people are learning a lot and getting inspired this morning. First, I wanna thank you so much for coming, brother. You are just absolutely the best. I've been loving this show so much, and let me tell you, we are very passionate to be here every single morning with you. I know people say every single morning. Yes, every single morning. Yes, we are every single morning with you, every week from Monday to Friday, bringing the best, trying to bring the best out of us to take the best out of you. Sharing stories, learning together, getting inspired, and you know, just trying to make this world a better place for everybody. When I make this world, I know it's it's kind of like woofy or something. Everybody's been said so many times, but we really do mean it. That we want to change life. We want to make an impact in people, in your day, in your week, in your year, in your life, in any way that we can. So that's why, you know, we are always bringing amazing guests as Franz, and we wanna lift you up. We wanna lift you up. And coming up once again this Monday is gonna be here another amazing leader, another amazing entrepreneur, an immigrant, a guy that has been working so hard to make this community, this country, you know, the best. And his name is George Villalobos from the Best Restoration, one of amazing sponsors. So you better stay tuned for Monday, because he's gonna be fun. One of the funniest guys. He's so much fun to be around, George, and you know, his stories and the way he sees life is very different, and we have a lot to keep learning from all of our guests, and we have amazing people coming up next week as well. And you know, I really hope, if you didn't get the opportunity to know Franz right now because you just are tuning in, it's okay. You can go and watch. You can go back and watch at any time. You know, here after we finish the show, you can check out our YouTube channel. Easy, Morning Coffee with Elio, and that's it. Morning Coffee with Elio on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and actually we are going to be uploading brand new content, so much different than Facebook. So you just want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can listen on your car, because I don't want you to watch on your car. Just listen. iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are all over the place. Come on, baby, get up this morning, and we are leaving. Yes, thank you very much for watching. It's been such a tremendous pleasure and privilege, and you know, just fire this morning. And because we love being here with you. So remember, as I always said, stay tuned, okay? Stay inspired and live full. We're gonna see you on Monday with another Morning Coffee with Elio. Thank you very much for all of your support, guys. We love you all, we admire you all, and we wanna be here with you. Stay tuned for Monday. We're gonna see you.